Hello, hôm nay rảnh rỗi mình sẽ đọc truyện cho cả nhà nghe. Um, Đây là một quyển truyện rất là nhỏ xinh, rất là dễ cầm. Đúng nhỉ? Đấy, có rất là nhiều tập. Nhưng mà mình thích cái gì nó đơn giản ấy. Đấy, thì cái câu chuyện này, cái tên nghe nó cũng đã rất là đơn giản rồi. Mr. Happy. Câu chuyện này thì phù hợp với lại các bạn nhỏ tầm 5-6 tuổi. Đấy. Mình rất là tiết kiệm, thế nên là mua một cái quyển sách ấy mình cũng phải expect làm sao mà đọc được nhiều thứ, học được nhiều thứ ở trong đấy. Dĩ nhiên là không quá gọi là gì phức tạp so với cái trình độ của mình, hoặc là so với cái trình độ của một cái lứa tuổi nhất định, đúng nhỉ? Hôm nay mình có hơi ốm một chút, thôi không sao, vẫn đọc được. Học sinh bảo cô ơi, cô ốm giọng cô đọc lại nghe lại tây hơn. Ok, thế nên là quyết định quay video. Ok, Mr. Happy. Let's get started. On the other side of the world, where the sun shines hotter than here, and where the trees are 100 feet tall, there is a country called Happy Land. Yeah, this is Happy Land. This is the sun, and this is cloud. Okay. Lần đầu ấy mình sẽ đọc một lượt và không translate, cũng không giải thích từ. Nhưng mà lượt 2 sau khi đọc xong mình sẽ giải thích từ. Có rất là nhiều từ mà kể cả những người lớn ấy cũng có thể học được, đúng nhỉ? Chưa chắc bạn đã nắm được hết các cái cấu trúc ở trong một cái quyển đơn giản như thế này đâu. Ok. As you might very well expect, everybody who lives in Happy Land is as happy as the day is long. Wherever you go, you see smiling faces all around. It is such a happy place that even the flowers seem to smile in Happy Land. Hôm nay hết hơi quá. Here you can see, flowers, smiling faces. And as well as all the people being happy, all the animals in Happy Land are happy as well. If you've never seen a mouse smile, or a cat, or a dog, or even a worm, go to Happy Land. This is the worm. A worm. Ok, từ này mình đọc là worm. Nó khác với cái từ chết rồi, lại giải thích rồi. Ok, không sao, nói luôn. Cái từ ấm ấy, ấm mình đọc là gì nhỉ? Warm. Ok, warm. It's warm. That's the difference. There is a story about someone who lived there. Chết rồi, để mình xem nào. Vừa quay vừa đọc này hơi khó. Just wait. There is a story about who lived there, who happened to be called Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy was fat and round and of course happy. Here he is. Well, nhìn thấy mặt đã thấy happy rồi đúng không? Yes, he's Mr. Happy. He lived in a small cottage beside a lake at the foot of the mountain and close to a wood in Happy Land. Here there is a cottage. The cottage is a small house, normally in a country. Yes, and this is mountain. This is the foot of the mountain, and this is the wood. Yeah, wood is a kind of, area that is covered by trees or growing trees. Yeah, something like that. Next. One day, while Mr. Happy was out walking through the tall trees in those woods near his home, he came across something which was really rather extraordinary. Wow, we have the word came across. That means meet by chance, or encounter or find something unexpectedly. Yes, And here this is extraordinary. Extraordinary, that means something unusual, something strange. Here he is, Mr. Happy. Yes, while he was walking through the tall trees, he saw something strange. Let's see what happened. There in the trunk of one of the very tall trees was a door, not a very large door, but nevertheless a door. Certainly a door, a small, narrow, yellow door. Definitely a door. I wonder who lives here, thought Mr. Happy to himself, and he turned the handle of that small, narrow, yellow door. The door wasn't locked, and it swung open quite easily. Swung là quá khứ từ swing, move forward, move, and move back and forth. Yeah. Just inside the small, narrow yellow door was a small, narrow, winding staircase leading downwards. Winding staircase like this, like spiral, kiểu hình xoắn ốc ấy. Mr. Happy squeezed his rather large body through the rather thin doorway and began to work down the stairs. Đọc vậy quá. Let's see. Mr. Happy squeezed his rather large body through the rather thin doorway and began to walk down the stairs. Yeah, like this. Yeah. The stairs went round and round and down and down and round and down and down and round. Next. That's fun. Eventually, after a long time, Mr. Happy reached the bottom of the staircase. He looked around and saw there in front of him another small, narrow door, but this one was red. Wow, it's like a mystery. What happened? What inside? A small. Mr. Happy knocked at the door. Who's there? Said a voice. A sad, squeaky, soft, kind of, right. A sad, squeaky, squeaky sort of voice. Who's there? A squeaky sort of voice. Squeaky, that means soft or kind of lightly. Mr. Happy pushed open the red door slowly, and there, sitting on a stool. Oh, a stool? What is a stool? A new word. Oh, let me see. Like this. A stool. A stool means like a chair, right? Sit on a chair without back or arms. Yeah. Was somebody who looked exactly like Mr. Happy, except that he didn't look happy at all. Wow. Yeah. He doesn't look happy at all. In fact, he looked downright miserable. Wow, downright miserable. Miserable? So miserable, maybe, feel like unhappy, sad, right? Next. Hello, said Mr. Happy. I am Mr. Happy. Oh, you are indeed, sniffed the person who looked like Mr. Happy but wasn't. Well, my name is Mr. Miserable, and I am the most miserable person in the world. Why are you so miserable? Asked Mr. Happy. Because I am, replied Mr. Miserable. Mr. Unhappy, right? Yeah. They were talking to each other. How would you like to be happy like me? Asked Mr. Happy. I'd give anything to be happy, said Mr. Miserable. But I am so miserable I don't think I could ever be happy, he added miserably. Mr. Happy made up his mind quickly. Follow me, he said. Where to? Asked Mr. Miserable. Don't argue, said Mr. Happy, and he went out through the small, narrow, red door. Here, he went out through the small, narrow, red door. Mr. Miserable hesitated and then followed. Up and up the winding staircase they went, up and up and round and round and up and round and round and up until they came out into the wood. Follow me, said Mr. Happy again, and they both set off through the wood back to Mr. Happy's cottage. I will explain the word later, but set off something like you start the journey, begin the journey. Mr. Miserable stayed in Mr. Happy's cottage for quite some time, for quite a long time, a long period of time. And during that time, the most remarkable thing happened. Remarkable, that means striking. Because he was living in Happy Land, Mr. Miserable ever so slowly stopped being miserable and started to be happy. His mouth stopped turning down at the corners. Here, ta-da! And ever so slowly it started turning up at the corner. Here, turning up a little bit at the corners. And eventually, Mr. Miserable did something that he'd never done in the whole of his life. He smiled, and then he chuckled, which turned into a giggle, which became a laugh. A big, booming, hearty, huge, giant, large, enormous laugh. Wow, hết cả hơi. And Mr. Happy was so surprised that he started to laugh as well, and both of them laughed and laughed. They laughed until their sides hurt and their eyes watered. Wow, cái cụ này rất là hay nha. Cười đau cả miệng, chảy cả nước mắt. Ta-da! So funny. Mr. Miserable and Mr. Happy laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. They went outside and still they laughed. And because they were laughing so much, everybody who saw them started laughing as well. Even the birds in the tree started to laugh at the thought of somebody called Mr. Miserable who just couldn't stop laughing. This is the most, interesting sentence for me. This is the bird, yeah. And that's really the end of the story, except to say that if you ever feel as miserable as Mr. Miserable is too, you know exactly what to do, don't you? Just turn your mouth up at the corners. Go on. It's just quite long. So let me see. Here we have the sticker. Yes. Now, to review, we say worm, con gì nhỉ? Con sâu đúng không? Worm. Nó khác với cái từ worm. It's a worm. Alright, cottage. The stress is on the first syllable. Cottage. Next we have sao mở thế nhỉ? Wood. Alright. Come across, that means meet or find by chance, unexpectedly. Next. Alright, here. Cái từ này nha, mình có thể đọc là extraordinary. Đấy, cái từ extra mình không đọc hẳn là extraordinary mà mình đọc là extraordinary. Đó, extraordinary. That means unusual. Next, đấy, khi mà mình đọc sách thì mình nên có những cái như thế này để mình dán vào để mình học, đúng không nhỉ? Trunk, trunk. Handle, handle. Trunk là thân cây, handle là cái cầm nắm, đúng không nhỉ? Swing, swung. Winding, winding, that means spiral. Ok. Squeeze, cái từ này rất là hay, đọc hơi khó một chút là squeeze. Ok. Mở thế nhỉ? Squeeze. Ok. Cái từ này mà mình nói là mình vắt chanh ấy, mình cũng dùng cái từ squeeze. Ok. Đó. Vặn mình, lúc đấy anh ấy to béo quá anh phải vặn mình ấy, đúng không nhỉ? Ok. Squeeze. So we have the next one is squeaky. Hình như vừa nãy mình đọc sai từ này. Ok. That is squeaky. Ok. Stool. Ok. Đây là cái âm lượng cao. Stool. Downright. That means completely. You know, he's downright miserable. Yeah. Kiểu thực sự rất kiểu muốn nhấn mạnh ấy. Make up one's mind cũng rất hay. That means decide. He made up his mind quickly. He decided quickly. Alright, next we have a set off. That means begin a journey. Okay. Quite some time. That means a long period of time. Remarkable. Okay. Remarkable. That means striking. Chuckle. That means laugh quietly. Giggle cũng kiểu như vậy thôi, the same meaning. Đây, cái cụm là laugh. Yeah. Laugh until their eyes hurt and their eyes watered. Đấy, cười đau miệng, chảy ra nước mắt, đúng không nhỉ? Ok. So, like, thanks for listening. Hope that you guys can learn something after listening to my video. Yeah, if you like this video, just, smile, and try to be like Mr. Happy. Okay, bye bye.